All right, Drew, we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's Build a Bot workshop. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, Drew, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, David. I'm excited to be hanging out again for another Build a Bot workshop session. We're going to be talking about AI assistants. We're going to be talking about bots, chat bots, and today we're going to be talking about webhooks and how important they can be to add another layer of interest and intrigue to local businesses and those that are building out these bots. And I think probably today it's probably a good idea to kind of start off with maybe a little bit differently, maybe some Q&A and like try to get an idea of where people are in their AI assistant building process. We've got people from all kinds of skill sets, people that are brand new that don't even know what an AI assistant or a chatbot is, let alone a webhook. Some people are, they know what chatbots are and AI assistants and what we're doing here, but they don't know precisely what a webhook is or the potential of how they might relate to some of the things that you can create and distribute and start to help local businesses or even your own agencies, right? I think this is something that may seem to be a little bit intimidating, but it's really not that bad. It's really not that hard to consider. We'll go through and define this in a little bit, and then we'll just kind of break out and show you a very very simple consideration webhook that you can use inside of a chatbot, lead generation or something along those lines from a form, right? Like, so we'll just go very very basic today. We're not going to go into too much depth. Later on, as experience evolves and people start to get a little bit more advanced with using this technology, maybe some ideas of how to use this, and like right off the bat, I mean, we'll talk about something that I think could be extremely valuable to every single business out there. And I think it starts with something like this, right? Let alone the chatbot and the AI assistants that we can create with a platform like AskSpot. um I think it's of great interest to pretty much every business that's out there, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, let's kind of dig into it. Maybe have maybe a small Q&A session, and then we'll dig in and try to keep this brief today, maybe 45 minutes or so. We can get technical and that sort of thing, but really the concept of building this out shouldn't be too complicated or difficult today for everybody and anyone that's here on this call. And we'd love to see you guys start to use this and implement. For those of you who are AskSpot users, we would love to see what you guys are doing, utilizing this feature that we've made available to you inside the platform. And for those of you who are not AskSpot users and want to consider doing this, we've got a very special offer at the end of this, an invitation for you to join us as a user inside of AskSpot. Really what this is making things super pragmatic and practical, and really easy for you to use inside your business. For those of you who are website designers and developers, it's just a no-brainer to add this as an add-on service. And this is just an interesting and compelling way to make your chatbots and your AI assistants that much more engaging and rewarding to those that are using it. So that said, David, any questions that just kind of came up?
No questions as of yet. Just a couple comments. Dara says she doesn't know anything about webhooks. I understand the bots, but nothing about webhooks. Really, just a webhook, Dara. This is not going to be a masterclass on automations or webhooks. We're just going to show you in a very simple way within AskSpot how you can use a webhook to, say you want to connect one of our forms to your bot. How do you get that data? Meaning, maybe somebody filled out their name, their name and their email address and their phone number in that form and hit submit. How do you get that data out of AskSpot and perhaps like into a CRM or an email marketing platform or maybe a Google sheet? We're going to show you a really, simple way to do that. So that's kind of what we're going to be getting into. Looks like Dave Suckert's here. Martin Jackson says he uses webhooks all the time and API integrations all the time for himself and his clients.
It's awesome.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, Cool.
All right. Well, let's dig into this. Let's be respectful of everyone's time, and we'll kind of riff on this as we move along here. You guys good with that? Give me a number one in chat if
Yeah.
you guys are ready to dig into using webhooks and custom AI assistants and chatbots.
Just give me a quick second to get on my screen set here, Drew.
Yeah, I got a couple slides here that will kind of lead up to
Okay.
this and set the tone. Good morning, Dara. Good morning, Robin. Awesome. Well, while you're doing that, David, I'll go through these slides real quick so we get to the demo section when you're ready. So, guys, here's what we're going to be covering today. Obviously, this Build a Bot session is for all of you that are here. Thanks for showing up. If you know of any other businesses or people that are interested in learning about this technology and learning about the emergence of this, this platform and the ability to create custom AI assistants, we ask that you just extend the invite for them to come and check this out along with you. But this Build a Bot session is for you, the interested parties, the agency owners, the website designers, developers, consultants, salespeople, and business owners, right? If you're a business owner, local business owner, this is absolutely for you to kind of learn how to use and leverage this technology that so many of us are really starting to be fond of with artificial intelligence. So, basically this is what we're going to be covering, right? Kind of get past this slide. So we've got this welcome slide here. We're going to kind of dig into the part two, which is webhooks and your AI assistants, right? So like, what the heck is a webhook? Let's kind of closely define this. David kind of already mentioned and touched upon this already. A webhook is essentially a way for one application to automatically send real-time data and information to another application. Now, today, we're not going to go into the complexities of all that kind of stuff. But basically, today we're talking about a very, very simple form of this, right? It's like kind of having a doorbell that rings, in your house whenever something happens next door, right? It's kind of like, oh, there's something going over there, and it's kind of notifying another application. And it allows, kind of one application to speak to another. So many of you might have CRMs, you might have other types of platforms where you want to send the data from, a chatbot or an AI assistant to something else, right? Like a Google Sheet or, a CRM. Today, well, maybe we'll kind of figure out what we're going to demonstrate here. But I think probably for the context of most folks, and understanding is maybe generating a lead, right? A name and an email address from a form that's within the chatbot, and then sending it to a third-party application like a Google Sheet. Very, very simple process where you take the name, you take the email address or the telephone number, and you take it from the application and you dump it into a Google Sheet, right? Like that's like a very, very simple process or explanation about what we're doing here. Now, why would this be really important to lots of local businesses? Well, if they're trying to capture leads from their email addresses and names and cell phone numbers and other types of data, then you can pass that into a CRM, which is going to be great for them if they want to follow up with people, if they want to send out newsletters, if they want to send out offers by way of email. There's all kinds of reasons why they might want to capture this data. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, this is probably one of the biggest opportunities within AI chatbots that you can just simply, bring to every business's attention, right? Like very, very basic stuff. And most business owners, they don't know how to connect the dots. So today, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Like, how do you leverage a webhook with a form, right? That's one way to go about doing this in its simple form. This should start to expand your mind into how you might actually be able to help local businesses and sell these bots to those individuals, right? So it kind of works like this, right? You set up a URL on your application to receive the data, right? This is just a very, very high level type of stuff without going into, the bits, the bytes, and all that other kind of stuff. You give this URL to another application. It's kind of like an introduction between those two platforms. Very, very basic explanation. And then when something happens in the other application, it sends that data to this new URL, whether it's a Google Sheet or maybe your CRM, maybe it's Go High Level, maybe it's MailChimp, whatever it is that you are particularly using. And not necessarily you, but maybe perhaps one of your clients, right? So understanding how this actually is working in the background can give you a major advantage, right? Being able to speak and understanding what's actually happening behind the scenes within your custom AI chatbot. So I don't know. Maybe that kind of explains it from a very simplistic perspective, like the communication between the two applications is kind of what we're going with, right? So you've got this widget, you've got this chatbot that's on a website that you've created, and you want to provide a little bit more functionality, right? Just another little flavor. So maybe you've got those trivia chatbots that you've created for a local restaurant, or maybe you're just trying to provide some information in exchange for their data, right? So their name, their email address, their opt-in, if you will, when they're on your website or your client's website. It's up to you as marketers to tell that story, to sell this in such a way that's compelling. And for most businesses, they're going to get that. I was at a soccer game last night speaking with another parent that was at the game who happens to be a real estate brokerage, and they don't get it. They have no idea about chatbots in general, and the value in the technology. They're still doing some like really old school marketing, which totally works. So as I started to kind of explain this, they're like, "Oh wow, that's incredible! I don't have to do X, Y, and Z." No, it just automatically happens in the background. And you open up your laptop and the data is going to be there in your CRM or whatever it is. So it's just a very simple explanation, small little demo of something that I had on the side. Total game changer for that particular person and their company. So David, I don't know, maybe I just completely destroyed everyone's idea about what a very simple idea of what a webhook is.
I think everybody gets it now. We can just end the call, man. I think we're good. Bye, everybody.
See you guys. And I'm out. Well, thanks, Martin. I appreciate the great explanation.
Awesome.
So,
well, let's why don't we just dive in and we'll kind of get into it a little bit. Feel free to interject as we go along if you have any questions. Let me just share my screen here. Okay. Awesome. Just let me know when that is up, Drew.
You're good.
Oh, I don't want to show that one. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, let's dig in.
You saw
as
nothing.
Drew mentioned. What was that?
They saw nothing.
Yeah. As Drew mentioned, the main use of this inside, the AskBot platform, obviously is we want to, say you're collecting some data via one of our forms, and you want to be able to take that data and get it into another platform. As you mentioned, maybe a CRM, maybe a Google Sheet, an email marketing platform like MailChimp or Constant Contact, right? And webhooks are the way that you can do that, right? This all starts with a form, though, within here. So if you're logged into your dashboard in AskBot, you'd go to your forms, right? And I already got one built out here just for the sake of time, but we'll kind of just explain, what's going on here. So imagine maybe this is just for like a customer service type of chatbot, right? You've got it installed on a local business's website. And this is, one of these very simple customer service type of chatbots that's just going to answer frequently asked questions or point somebody in the right direction for the information they're looking for, right? And this is a really easy tactic and strategy to grab somebody's information, okay? So with the forms, you can kind of gate the chat, meaning you can kind of force somebody to give you some sort of information before they can really engage and have a chat with the AI, okay? And this is the situation I'm laying out for you here. So imagine you land on a restaurant's website, someone triggers the chat and they type in their first question, or as soon as they trigger the chat, the form pops up and it says something like this: "How can we reach you? Please fill in your details below so we can reach you if we become disconnected, right? Super simple. It's like saying, hey, yeah, you can have a chat with us, ask us questions, just give us some info, maybe just your name and your email address before we get started, so we know who you are. We can reach out to you in case this chat doesn't work or we get disconnected, right? Makes sense. Drew, have you seen something like this in the past when chatting with like a customer service bot or something, right? I think people are used to having to do this.
Yes.
Makes sense, right? Does that make sense to everybody? And I'm not looking at the chat, so just make sure that we're all on the same page here.
I got a little bit of a delay, but I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
agrees with that. I'm sure that people have seen this before.
Right. Okay. So we've got first name, last name, email address here, and so let's go back out. And where is that? Hold on a sec. Where's that form? This is the, let's see, demo form. Okay. So now what we want to do is connect this form to a bot, right? So let's go in. Let me find a bot to connect this to here. Here we go. All right. So this is kind of like a little customer service bot. Let's just imagine that. It's on a business's website, and we want to connect a form to this. So we'll go to our channels here. We're going to click add new channel, and we're going to add a form. Okay. And we're going to search the form. There it is. That's the form that I was just working with here, that I was showing you. And we'll just call this chat with us. Now, with forms, they work several different ways. You'll see if I just hit create here, it adds this button here. This is the form I just attached, right? Boom, it pops it up, and there it is. It's via a button. But what if we wanted this form to just trigger automatically as soon as somebody opens up the chat, right? What you want to do is switch this off, the status off, and turn this on. Primary means somebody has to fill this form out before they can engage, okay? And then you can choose, like, when do you want this form to trigger? Right after somebody just opens the chatbot, after sending the first message, after sending a certain number of messages. We'll set it right after somebody's opening the chatbot, okay? And then we can hide the button here. Turn that on actually, but what we want to do is hide this button so it doesn't show on the bottom, right? So we'll hit update. Now when we open, and I've already interacted with this, so let's do it after. Let me just come out of here, make a new bot, just so we can give you a full demo of this. So duplicate. There we go. So there we go, right? Boom. Form. Someone says, hey, I want to have a question. Boom. How can we reach you? So what's your first name, last name, email address? Does everyone see how that works? Simple, right? Now they're going to fill this form out if they want to chat. So let's fill this out. Submit. Boom. All right. So when I fill that out, you'll see that data, my internet's slow. There we go. That data, I refreshed. There we go. Ends up here, right? So there's my name, my email address that I put in. So now the question becomes, how do I get this data off to another place, another application, a CRM, an email marketing platform? And that's where the webhooks come into play, okay? So if we go to webhooks, we're going to create a new webhook, okay? We're going to call this web hook build a bot. So we give it a name, and then we have to use an automation platform. Zapier, Pabbly is another one. Make is another one. You can any automation platform that handles webhooks will normally work with these within our platform. We use Zapier, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do this within Zapier. So if you are using Zapier, which is an automation platform, hit create. We're going to choose to create a new Zap, okay? And every automation or Zap has a starting point, and that's called a trigger, okay? So for the trigger, I'm going to click here, and we're going to look for webhooks. It's right here. You could also type in, the type of app that you're looking for, but our webhooks right here. So we selected that, okay? Now, once you select that, it opens up this sidebar here, and that's where we kind of start to work with this. So the event is we want to catch a hook. We're looking to receive information being sent from another platform, which would be AskSpot in this scenario, okay? So we're going to choose the option to catch a hook. We're going to hit continue again, and there we go. So it has now provided us with a webhook URL. It's just a link. So we're going to copy that, okay? And we'll come back over to AskSpot, and there's a spot here to paste that webhook URL, okay? Boom. So there we go. Now that we've pasted that, it's opened up some other options here for us, okay? Now, what we want to do is connect a form to this webhook. So now we want to select the form that we set up, which is demo form right here, right? Okay. And here it is. Here's the info, right? First name, last name, email address. Those are the 3 form fields that we had set up on that form, okay? And what we can do now is to take this information and send it over to Zapier. So we're just going to click here, send sample data, okay? Sent it to Zapier. Now when we come back, if we click this test trigger, there it is. There's our request that we sent from AskSpot. Boom. And as you can see, there's the form fields: first name, last name, email address. Super easy. Okay. So now the next step is to connect the app that you want to send the data to. Okay. So we'll click here. Maybe we want to send an email to a client with that information in it. Okay. So we can do something like, let's select Gmail. Okay. So you can send an email from a Gmail account to one of your clients and alert them that somebody just filled out the form, right? So the action event. So now we're working with this action here now, right? Which is Gmail. So what are we looking to happen when that new information comes? Well, we want to send an email. Okay, you'll have to connect your Gmail account with this. I've already connected mine to make it a little quicker. So you'd go here and you'd connect your Gmail account and give authorization to Zapier and hit continue. And now you kind of just fill out the options here, right? So for 2, you want to put the email address that you want to send this email to. Maybe it's like your client's email address or your email address or wherever it needs to go to. So we'll send it to Drew, right? Drew at boom, there we go. You can do carbon copies, blind carbon copies. Who's the email coming from? You select your email address. And the from name. You can put the reply to email address if that's different. The subject, maybe put like new form submission. Body type, you can do plain or HTML. We'll just leave it plain for now. But you can then the body, like this is the email that will be sent, right? So you can just say you have a new form submission. Now, what we want to do is match up those fields, right? Here in the body. So we hit the plus sign right here. And as we can see, we have these different form fields that we can add in, right? So we can do something like here is the form info. Couple spaces. Now we'll put like first name, make another line, last name, another line, and where's the email address? There we go, an email address. Boom. So when it sends the email, it will send this information at the top. You have a new form submission. Here's the form info. And then it will add in the first name, the last name, and the email address that the person filled in on the form, right? You can do your email signature. You can, label which, what box it should go into. You can add attachments to this if you wanted to, but we hit continue, hit test. And Drew, you probably get an email on your side if everything worked correctly, and it should have all that information in it. And that's like as simple as it gets. Another,
the info.
You got it? It worked?
Yep.
We're good.
It's right here.
Yeah. There you go. Super simple. Now I showed you, how you can send an email, but you can, in the same way, you could take that same data and send it into your CRM. You could add that person as a subscriber in an email marketing platform. You could add them to a Google sheet that maybe like your client has access to. It really depends on your use case, but like that's the basics of it. Super simple. It's not very difficult. Maybe like another use case too for the forms would be like an actual form that somebody is filling out, right? So if we go back out here, we'll go in forms. Maybe we'll do an in-chat form this time. Create a new form. So I don't know, maybe it's just like a contact form, that's on the bot, get in touch type thing, right? Contact us, get in touch. So let's build it out. Add a field. We'll do first name. Add a field. Last name. Add a field. Message. So for message, we'll do a text area, which is like a larger text box, right? Boom. Maybe you want to get email down here. So we have first name, last name, email address, and message, right? Looks like more like a contact form, right? You can just put like send. You can add GDPR stuff here if you want. You can also redirect somebody after they fill the form out. So, if you want to redirect them to like a thank you page or somewhere else, maybe you're giving something away. Maybe you have a free gift or a download and you want to redirect them to that thing after they fill the form out. You can do that with the redirect. Super simple. You can also just show a message here too. So if you want to just show a message after the form is being submitted, you can do that here. So there's the form. Okay. And let's just go back out here now. We'll go into another. I'll just go here. We will clone this again. Let's connect a different form this time. So in chat demo, so there's the form we just made. Going to hit update. So another use case for this might be to add it as a button at the bottom of the chatbot. Okay. So if we open this back up, if we get rid of this primary button here, now we can change the title of like, and make it like, contact us. And put a little emoji there. Email. There we go. And hit update. So now, when somebody clicks here, they get this form that shows up instantly. Okay. So this could be used more as like a form that somebody fills out to get in contact with you. And then again, right, you can set up a webhook just like we showed you to send an email to yourself or to your client that has all this information from the form in it. Okay. Drew, any questions coming in?
Bob asked, is this just automating the lead capture more than send a lead form to an email ad within the bot? So yes and no. I mean, it gives you a lot of flexibility there, Bob. It gives you the ability to pass this on to a CRM if you want to, using an automation platform like Zapier or Webhook or Make or Pabbly gives you a lot of flexibility, right? So, not everybody has the same CRM. Not everybody wants their information to go into a CRM. They might want to be notified immediately, right? So you might have a very responsive sales team. So they're getting that email sent directly to them and they can start to process that, right? I mean, it's entirely up to you, but we're giving you some flexibility and some things to consider that it's not just all being captured inside AskSpot itself. Like you're passing that data on to whoever you're like most of the time, your clients, they don't want to log in to another place. They know email, right? Or maybe they do have a CRM and they just want to capture leads that they can send out their offers to, or send out their weekly email news blast or whatever it might be, or invite them, to a Facebook group or something along those lines.
Yeah. Like this might be subscribed to our newsletter, right? And you want to then someone's just, they're going to put their email address in. You got to get the email address out of AskSpot and into the platform that you're using to build your email subscriber list. And the webhook is just a simple way to do that. We can't speak to you like your exact use case. Use cases are going to be all over the place depending on who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, what type of business you are, what you're doing. We can't totally speak to that. But what we can show you is that like it's very simple to get any data that you collect from these forms out of AskSpot and basically into any other platform that you can connect to one of these automation platforms.
Our recommendation is to, take a look at one of these platforms, automation platforms, and consider, some of the things that are there. They can get super, super sophisticated. But in short, guys, this is just the genesis. Like we're just trying to get you up to speed on, okay, this is how this is. We're connecting the dots here between the custom AI assistants that you're creating and into something else. For example, that one restaurant that we were talking about, on a previous Build-A-Bot session, we built out a trivia game chatbot and connected this to an inbox, right? Not an inbox, but to a CRM, right? Like that's a lot. And one way to impress upon those that you're starting to work with, if you want to prove that your chatbot is working, when they see the inbox notification that another one came in, and another one came in, another one came in, like at the end of the weekend, they're going to be so exhausted by getting notifications that they're like, oh yeah, what this woman is doing is actually working versus this ethereal thing. Like, can everybody get that? If you were a local business that, that somebody, another marketer sold you, or prospected you and brought this to your attention, and you did something like that where, okay, hey, you cover the cost, you get a bunch of table tents, and then you actually develop 500 leads like over a weekend. That's a lot of leads, right? 10 leads, 20 leads, 100 leads. You can see verifiable proof coming through into the inbox, they're probably going to be like, no mas, right? I'm done. I'm done with all the spam that's coming through. I get it. I see what your point, what you're doing is actually working. Some of them might actually prefer to, continue to see that as verifiable true, proof that what's actually working. Now they have to get to work. Like, what are they doing on their side to bring more people into the business? Could you send out an email blast on their behalf? Like, you see how selling like a $49 a month chatbot then becomes a $500 to $1,000 a month service that you're providing for them? Like, they're busy making food, right? And all of a sudden you're handling their email blast for them. Like, you email 500 people and say you've got a special, and all of a sudden there's 500 pizzas, or,
Yeah.
you get the idea.
Most
Like,
of you should understand this. I mean, if you guys are working in a digital marketing space running small agencies, you should understand this already. We're just showing you the technical aspect of how to just get the data out of AskSpot into another platform, right? We all understand lead generation and collecting an email address and why you'd want to do that and the things you can do with the email address after you collect it. Can we all put a number 1 in the chat? If you don't understand that, let us know. We can go deeper.
George asks, can a form be called
Not yet. We're working on that, though. There's some new stuff coming over the next few weeks that we'll be talking about soon.
Glenn asks, if we do not use Webhooks,
how would they see the leads in AskSpot? So your clients are not logging into AskSpot, right? You're offering a done for you service where you're taking care of this for them, right? So the webhooks are an easy way. Like what I just showed you is how you could very easily take that data from a form. If somebody filled out a form connected to one of the bots, and you could alert your client that a new form was just filled out, right? You can send them an email from your own agency, from your own brand, using those webhooks in an automation platform like Zapier or Make or Pabbly, right? Above and beyond that, yeah, you can share with them the chat logs via the link, and they can access that outside of the platform. So that's another way you could keep them up to date with what's happening in terms of chats and dialogue and engagement with their bot, is that by sharing the chat logs with them. Absolutely, you can do that. Also, you can set up in the form setup. There's an area on the share tab in the form setup where you can put an email address in. When somebody fills that form out, a email will be sent to that email address, alerting them that the form was filled out and the info on the form. Now, the one thing about that is that email currently is coming from AskSpot. If that doesn't bother you, that's great. Use that. You don't have to set up a webhook. But if that is a thing for you and you don't want anybody to see AskBot, then we would really just recommend using a very simple webhook like we just showed you to create alerts to send to your clients and customers.
Yeah. So for those of you who are into automation, I think this is, the first step into that array of in that world of doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really fun
This is
stuff.
as simple as, it's super simple. Like, there's nothing too complex about it. If you can just match a field, meaning this is the email, this is the first name, this is the last name, you can do this. It's not difficult. And there's also we have plenty of documentation in the knowledge base that goes deeper into this and explains step by step all these things. And we'll show you where that stuff is.
Yeah, actually, David, why don't you bring up that screen, because we want to make sure that everybody knows that is there. We get a lot of questions coming in. We don't mind the questions, but we also want you to be aware of where our knowledge base is. It's very simple to get to, like in everyone's dashboard. If you happen to have questions, this is probably really good and useful for most people. Might cut down on some of the frustration, or maybe some of the waiting time or perceived waiting time that you have. By the way, Kim I think is with us here today, and many of you have been, connecting with Kim for onboarding with this. We'd love to hear what your feedback has been about Kim. I've been, catching some of the replays of some of these sessions, and absolutely, I think the interactions have been interesting and appropriate. If you've had the opportunity to take advantage of it, let us know. If you want to take advantage of an onboarding and kind of have a walkthrough, if you happen to have questions or some challenges, totally book a call with Kim. She's been absolutely amazing and has been sharing some great feedback that we've been receiving. Thank you, George. Appreciate that. Lots of folks saying Kim is awesome, and she is awesome, and we love Kim. So go ahead, David. Where can people find our knowledge base if they happen to have a question?
It's really easy. And it boggles my mind that people can't come across this. So right here in your dashboard, it says need help right here. Click there. It's going to open up this. If you need to send a support ticket in, you can use that, right? Or this is our knowledge base, or our documents, our documentation. You can search here for terms that you need help with, or if you just click here, it'll take you to the full page where you can still search, but there is tons of documentation here. We spent a lot of time and effort to build this out. Kim does a great job. There's tons of knowledge base help articles here. Most of them have full walkthrough videos. If you get stuck, please come here first and search for, the issue that you're having, or the question that you have, or the area of the app that you need help with. In most cases, you can find an answer here. Above and beyond that, like, maybe you guys may not realize this, but all throughout the application, so like if we go to channels, right? You're like, oh, how do I use the form channel? There is, there is these little question marks. If you click here, here's a video that kind of takes you through using that specific channel. And we have them for all the channels. And those little question marks are kind of peppered and placed all throughout the application to help you understand like what's happening in a specific area of the app. Okay. So before, sometimes when you get stuck and you want a quick answer, but sometimes the quickest answer is just searching through our knowledge base, or, looking for these little hotspots throughout the application, Drew.
Yeah. Walter has a interesting suggestion. Maybe we can link that up. Maybe booking a call, an onboarding call in the back office. We'll see about doing that. But Kim,
we've emailed it several times over the past week. Check your emails. Kim, we've emailed 3 times a week. I think the last 2 emails have had links to book a call. So check your email from us, from AskBot.
Yeah, by the way, we try to do that and let people know inside the AskSpot group, as well as inside the Build a Bot group that you're in as well here. And just to give you an idea, like we're trying to grow the awareness of AskSpot. So, our gentle and, humble request to everybody is, if you know of somebody that is in the industry, a business partner or somebody like that, that wants to find out more about this, please invite them into the AskSpot group. This isn't really a sales presentation. It's kind of like hopefully a workshop that people get to understand what we're doing with AI and building out these custom AI assistants and bots. And a very light offer at the end is like, hey, if you like what you see, come and join us. We'd be glad to have you here. And the more people creating these types of AI assistants and bots and ideas and interesting ways to do things, I think it's beneficial for everybody. Like I'm working on something to share with you guys that is just totally blowing my mind. That will make an announcement probably in the next couple of weeks about it. And it's very practical, pragmatic, something that you can do for yourselves, as well as your agency and other people around you, that I think is just it's just going to blow your mind. It's a lot of fun. So with that said, right, let's kind of move into this last part, and then we'll get to any final questions. As you can tell, I mean, pretty much every business out there is looking for new leads and new customers, right? Pretty much every potential prospective business. I know that's lots of P's and B's in there. that you can possibly even imagine could benefit from lead generation. And what David just revealed to you, it doesn't matter what type of bot that you're creating. If you're doing a gate or you want to generate leads from the information, by the way, if you're creating any type of lead magnet out there, this is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Like, what would you do with these leads, for yourself? Let's just talk about you and your agency and your business, right? We've shared multiple ways, and I'll reveal them again in the next couple of slides. If you want to generate new leads for you and your business and your agency, you got to talk more about the cool stuff that you guys are doing. You're all super talented. You all have great questions. You're all doing, several of you have created some interesting things, have posted them inside the school group. You've posted them inside this Build-A-Bot session group. And we want to see you doing more of that, but also doing it publicly on your walls, right? You should be talking about this stuff. You should be doing live demos of your bot, not necessarily within AskSpot itself. We're not asking you to do that. Just say, hey, I created this thing. It's really cool. It has your branding on the bottom of it, and just walk them through the bot itself. Like, that is a demo, right? And when you say, hey, I built this for a local restaurant, you never know who's watching inside that feed. Oh, wait, that's pretty cool. How did you do that? How do I get that? I don't understand all the technology. Can you build one of those for me? Like, I get that a lot, just by demoing this to family and friends at soccer games, right? I mean, it's crazy how much opportunity is out there, right? So pretty much every business that you can possibly think of has the potential of becoming a client for you. So let's move on here. Here's how to do that above and beyond what I just talked about, right? Be social about it, both online and offline. Ask questions about other people, be social about it. A friend of ours, Sandy, she just did something pretty interesting. She followed our pathway of using the hello, my name is Sandy, hello tag with a QR code on her t-shirt. She got out of her comfort zone. She went to a local event, 50, 60 businesses there, and met a lot of different people, had the opportunity, gave herself an at bat, right? To swing the bat, not just stand up there and wait. And, hopefully you get a walk, right? She's swinging now, which is awesome. Like, you should be doing that. Use the opinion method. That's a great way to get in front of people. Like, create one of these bots. Doesn't matter what type of bot that you're creating, right? And then say, hey, I built this for a local golf course. I built this for a local restaurant, for a comedy club, for an attorney, for a physician, for real estate agents or brokerages. I'd love to get your opinion on whether or not this would be beneficial to other chiropractors, physicians, real estate agents, attorneys, blah, blah, blah. You do that over and over and over again. Before you know it, people are going to be interested in the product and service that you want to offer, right? So when you come in at a price point that's $49 to $100 a month, like, what's the real world value to a real estate agent, right? Like, on the average, right? It's like 6% or something like that. It's crazy. They're selling $100,000 home, and you help them get that lead that converts into, is your $49 bot worth it? It's totally worth it. So be bold. And then the next thing is, like, what do you do after the fact that you get those leads with the very thing that we just showed you today, or the, hey, I made this for you method. If you come across somebody that's really cool and you get their business card, reach out to them, create something. Like, if you've got templates, and you'll all have templates inside of AskSpot. For those of you who are AskSpot users, there's templates in there. Modify them, make them your own, and then create one for somebody. Hey, I made this for you. Want to get your opinion on it. Like, double up on that. People are going to love it. Expos, retractable banners. We were on a call yesterday with some folks that were interested and became members of our other software platform, Lead Bubble. And they're talking about retractable banners and doing stuff at chambers of commerces and all kinds of stuff. Like, they get it. They're out there doing this stuff. They're out there actively selling. I'm not sure why everybody else isn't. Maybe I'm assuming, but these are some very easy, practical ways that you can go out there and start to show your stuff. Facebook banners. Guys, do your demonstrations and talk about the cool stuff that you're creating in the banner above. Everybody that's connected with me on Facebook, go and take a look at my banner right now. right? Go and take a look at my profile, look at my banner, and see what happens, right? You click on that and you start to go through the process, you know, of like, hey, I can create a chatbot, a simple chatbot of how to, how to do X in X amount of time without Y or whatever that equation is. How to do X in Y amount of time with it and get these results, or without having these complications, even if you've never done it before. Whatever that phrase is, it works 100%. It works so well. So do that. Email signatures, like create links to that bot. Hey, do you guys want my free form that tells you how to sell your home in the next 5 days? Click the link in my under my signature. I'll give you this free report. Right? Crazy ways to do that. Go live, kind of like what we're doing right now. Go live and create a Canva presentation, something like this. By the way, this presentation was created in Canva.
And here's the thing with that, with going live and doing demos, don't demonstrate building the bot. Nobody cares about that. Like,
Nope.
Business people, they don't care about you hitting buttons and toggles and, building prompts and stuff. What they want to see is the end product and how it can benefit them. So that is the part that you want to demonstrate for, prospecting purposes.
Chuck said, if you paid a receptionist $7.25 an hour to answer all the routine daily questions on the phone, you would spend $1,245 a month. Gee, maybe the chatbot might save you a little bit of money. Yeah. So I mean, we love we love receptionists. We love our staff. We love people that can help us get those results. But maybe this just frees up some time so the receptionist has better quality interactions, right? So like the chatbot itself could take simultaneous questions and pass the hard ones that the chatbot might not go, might need a little bit more personalization off to the to the receptionist. Hey, you need to talk to somebody specific about your specific question. Click this button, right? And then, or here's the telephone number to call that receptionist. So webinars, create this stuff over and over and over and get them out there. Get people registered for your for your webinars or even your evergreens. Networking meetings, as we just mentioned, QR codes, NFC tags, all kinds of things can help you deploy these chatbots in a very, very cool manner. Run beta campaigns for testimonials. What I mean by this is find a handful of customers that you can create value for in advance and then use them as what we call sneezers, right? Like everybody understands viruses, right? If you haven't lived through COVID, you understand that, viruses get spread, good and bad. So if you can create a really great experience on behalf of a chiropractor or some type of prospect that you can use as a demonstration for other types of businesses, and that maybe it's not a free campaign, maybe it's a discounted campaign if it's really hard cost on you. But I would highly recommend going out and finding 5 to 10 people that you can build these bots out for in advance. Like, try to get really good results for them, sophisticated or just simple bots that solve the problem. And if you can show this and demonstrate that this is being done on behalf of that client, then very similar clients will likely, reach out to them. They might reach out and say, hey, what's your experience with this? This is pretty cool, right? They all talk. So they're going to love how you work with them, right? If you're cool to work with, remember, it goes both ways. If you're not cool to them, they're probably not going to, give you a good review. So be above and beyond cool with these folks, and that will be a selling point for the next bot that you sell. Again, those are kind of case studies, right? Build out those case studies. You can do help buy a bot campaign. Like, get clever with this. Hey, this person, took our advice and we want to feature them, right? I mean, a lot of you have seen some of the videos that we've created about reviewing other business. It's the same concept. Helped buy a bot. Hey, this guy built this for me, and now I'm generating leads on autopilot when people come into my restaurant. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out today. If you are not an AskBot user and want to explore the platform, we would love to extend an invite to you to come and join us over at askbot.ai/private. For those of you who know of folks that could benefit from this, you can either invite them to us or reach out to them, right? If you're thinking about somebody that could benefit from a bot right now, they're probably an ideal customer and client. So go out there. If you don't want to work with them, we'd be elated to invite them in and show them around the platform. So David, what do we got here?
Yeah, a couple quick questions before we head out. So Glenn's asking, does AskBot chatbot automatically get updated when files and website links are edited externally? So let me just show you how that works really quickly. One sec. Hang on one sec here. Okay. Yeah. Too many tabs open, Drew. There we go. Okay. So this works in a very simple way, and kind of just to give you an idea here. So if you go to your sources, this is not a good one to show you. Let's just get to one that's got. There we go. Okay, so if you look at like one of these sources here, all right, these web page sources, yeah, you can refresh them, and then you can actually set a schedule to have them refresh or rescan the content or the web page on a schedule. Okay, so if you click on where it says on here, you can see there's auto sync on, which I have it switched on. That's why it was green and it said on, or you can have it off. But if you turn it on, you can then say, hey, I want it to rescan every day, every week, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And you also have the option where you can just manually come in, click scan now, and you're good to go. So that's how you do that. It doesn't like automatic. There's no way for us to sense that something new has been added, right? If that makes sense. But you can set a schedule up and you can have it rescan every day. Or you can do it manually. So that's how that works. But that is an easy way to, pages like that you might be adding content to, you can just put it on a schedule and it'll rescan it every 24 hours. Super simple.
David, while you're there, BJ was asking to show one more time where to access the knowledge base. It's like right there.
Yeah, BJ, so simple. Like help, right? Docs. There you go. And if you want them, if the full, you can just click here, show all articles, and it goes to the full knowledge base page. That's it. It's easy. For some reason, in my brain, it doesn't seem that hard to find. I don't know why. I don't know.
We need one of those big like hands or, something like, if you need help, maybe it's a red thing. I don't know. We're having fun with the BJ. So guys, thanks for coming out today. Hopefully this has been of value to you and it was helpful to you. Certainly knowing where the knowledge base is. Maybe next week we'll do a repeat and replay of where the knowledge base is for everybody if they happen to have questions about our knowledge base. But there you go. I mean, that's kind of cool. Maybe we'll have some guests come in and talk about some of those bots. We're not really sure. If there's an idea, if you guys have ideas about next Build-A-Bot sessions, please let us know. We have a bunch of ideas already, but we're always looking for more as well. Was this helpful to everybody? We still want to pull this. We want to make sure that this is of value and also understanding the reasons between, having the AskBot community, which is, solely and very specifically for AskBot users already. And then this Build-A-Bot session is for all of you, as well as, new folks that want to discover how to build these types of AI assistants and chatbots out. And obviously consider, AskBot as the platform of choice for them. So hopefully that guy, everybody understands that, you know, the delineation, kind of where the replays are. And by the way, the replays, immediately after this live stream recording, it's available directly inside the Build a Bot group session, right? It's like
or right
right
on this
there.
page, right on the page that you're watching this on. If you just refresh it, the replay will be there. So you don't even have to ask us.
Yep. That's good.
Awesome.
Bob says, how about one for trade shows? Yeah, we'll kind of consider some of that and some ideas and concepts for chatbots for trade shows, not only for yourself and your agency, if you are a vendor, but potentially targeting other vendors of these trade shows as well. Let's see. Cool. Appreciate the affirmation, guys. All right, that's it, guys. Listen, enjoy the rest of the day today. Go out there, start building some chatbots. Let us know about your wins. We want to hear about those and some of the challenges as well. David, as always, man, great job. It's great to always get a refresher of webhooks and the walkthrough of these types of things and how we might be able to use them. Guys, go out there and get them. Talk to you guys soon.